What's going on, theorists? Welcome back to Theory Hammer. I'm Kevbot, and in today's episode, we're going to be going over the Dark Angels Codex, or Codex Supplement, as they call it. So we're going to do a little 2-for-1 in this episode. We're going to go over all the different units, but we're also going to try to see if we can think of some combos and some strategies with those units in conjunction with the other Space Marine stuff. Space Marines are always difficult to do reviews on because there's so many different units just in the regular Space Marine Codex, and there's so many different detachments that you can use them with, where it just, plus all the other supplements like Dark Angels, Blood Angels, Space Wolves, all those things, it makes it so there's so many different combinations of things, and it just gets out of control with how much they can do. And they have a lot of good units. They really do. They have a ton of really good units, and so there's like so many combinations of things that you can do that a lot of them get overlooked. So all that to say, there's a lot of stuff to go over, and we're just going to try to do our best here. So if you like that kind of content, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, Nurgle bell icon, leave a comment down below. Check out our other videos as well. We have all kinds of content, and we're trying to make all different kinds of content, trying to make more content, and the more that you guys do those things, the more that I can do. So we're going to just get into it right now and see what this is all about. Alright, so first you have Oath of the Moment. We know what that does. I always forget to use it because my army pretty much doesn't need it except for maybe like one turn or two. But that is from the Space Marine Codex. You pick a unit in your command phase and you get to reroll all hits against that unit until your next command phase. So that's what the Space Marines get. All of them get the same thing, but then you also get your sub-faction ability as well. Your detachment, your army rule, your whatever. I mix up the names, but this is what you got. It's the Unforgiven. If an Adeptus Astartes unit has a second faction keyword on its datasheet, that faction keyword is the name of that unit's chapter. For example, Asmodai has both the Adeptus Astartes and Dark Angels faction keywords, and is therefore from the Dark Angels chapter. You cannot include units from more than one chapter in your army, so this is a standard thing. If you have Ultramarines with Dark Angels, that's not allowed. Can't do that. So it's pretty straightforward there. You have a designer's note here. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to read it. Then you have Ravenwing. The following Adeptus Astartes units gain the Ravenwing keyword if they are drawn from the Dark Angels chapter. So this chapter. Mounted units and vehicles that have fly. Alright, so all kinds of bikes and all kinds of flying vehicles, from your land speeder type things, your lancers, any of the vehicles that can fly. Your flyers, I guess, technically as well. And then the Deathwing. The following Adeptus Astartes units gain the Deathwing keyword if they are drawn from the Dark Angels chapter. Terminators, Blade Guard Veterans, Stern Guard Veterans, Vanguard Veterans, and that's it. Yeah, so all your veteran squads get the Deathwing keyword, and then you get Land Raiders, all the different types, Repulsors, all the different types, and the Dreadnoughts. So all that stuff gains the Deathwing keyword, which is going to be relevant for things like stratagems, relics, things like that, I guess. So we'll see what we got here. Moving on to the Unforgiven Task Force. So this is your first detachment. And this is what you get. It's the same as from the Index, I believe. While an Adeptus Astartes unit from your army is battle shocked, you change the objective control characteristic of models in that unit to 1 instead of 0. You know what I think about that stuff. Battle shock shit is just terrible most of the time. You have to layer like 6 things in order for it to ever matter. So, all things considered, when you do get battle shock, because there are armies out there that revolve around battle shock, that's kind of their shtick, and it's their thing, you'll change your OC to 1. So in those situations where they're trying to battle shock you and get you off objectives that way, or stop you from using, oh no, you can't use stratagems on them. That needs to be added to this. They become objective control characteristic 1, and you can still use stratagems on them. Is that too good? I mean, I don't think so, but anyway, it's not horrible because in the situations where it does come up, that's pretty good to have. The fact that you're actually OC1, then you're not losing control of the objectives potentially. So, here's some restrictions. Your army cannot include Dark Angels units, your army can include Dark Angels units, but it cannot include any Adeptus Astartes units drawn from any other chapters. So that's kind of like the same thing on the other page. You can't have stuff from, say, Black Templar. You couldn't have like Sword Brethren in your Dark Angels army. At least that's how I'm reading that. So now you have your enhancements. You have Shroud of Heroes. This is an Adeptus Astartes model only. The first time the bearer is destroyed, roll a d6 at the end of the phase, and on a 2+, set the bearer back up on the battlefield as close as possible to where it was destroyed and not within engagement range of any enemy units, with 3 wounds remaining. If the bearer was battle shocked while it was destroyed, you can instead return it to play with its full wounds remaining. I hate it. I fucking hate it. It's bad. It's not bad, because you automatically can come back to life with 3 wounds. That's good. But come on. It's fine. It's pretty bad. Stubborn Tenacity. Adeptus Astartes model only. While the bearer is leading a unit, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, add 1 to the hit roll if that unit was below its starting strength. So like if the dude's unit that he's leading is below its starting strength, and add 1 to the wound roll as well if that unit is battle shocked and below its starting strength. So another, again, you're relying on being battle shocked for these to be even better, and it's a stupid fucking mechanic for things to be based around, especially in this way where it's like you want to be battle shocked. Like, I just don't get it, dude. So, +1 to hit, +1 to wound if you're battle shocked and below starting strength. Otherwise, you just have to be below starting strength and you're +1 to hit. Yeah. Alright. Weapons of the First Legion. Adeptus Astartes model only. Add 1 to the attack's character as... Alright, so add 1 to the attack, strength, and damage characteristic of the bearer's melee weapons. While the bearer is battle shocked, add 2 instead. Okay. To everything. Again, why is there this being battle shocked thing? I don't like this at all. It's garbage, dude. But that's pretty cool. I mean, you add 2 to the attack, strength, and damage characteristic of a melee weapon, so, you know, grab his captain. Okay, he's got 8 attacks at strength 10 and damage 4. That's pretty good. So, yeah, that's pretty good, but... yeah, otherwise, the same thing, the same example would be 7 attacks at strength 9 with damage 3, which is pretty good still. So, not a bad one, but I just hate it. I hate the battle shock thing. Pennant of Remembrance. This is for an ancient only. While the bearer is leading a unit, models in that unit have Feel No Pain 6+, and while they're battle shocked, 4 up instead. An ancient. So that's like a Terminator, I think. Like the Terminator ancient guy, or I guess there's regular ancients, maybe. Did they get rid of those? The ancient, it's not, is it? Let's see, okay. Pennant of Remembrance. What are you going to put the Pennant of Remembrance on? An ancient only. So you're really locked to specific units because the ancient can only attach to like a couple of different units. All right. Could be good on like Terminators or something, giving them a 4-up Feel No Pain. If there's ways for you to like get battle shocked easier, that'd be pretty cool. All of these become better in that case, but as it stands, I don't know. So that's okay. This is pretty good. Weapon of the First Legion, not bad at all. And so yeah, you're changing your objective control characteristic to 1. That's your thing. All right, so there's stratagems. You have Armor of Contempt. You should know what that does at this point. It gives you, takes 1 of the AP away from your opponent's weapons. So, yeah. Happens your opponent's shooting phase or fight phase just after an enemy unit selects its targets. You select the target that was the target of their attacks until the end of the phase. Each time an attack targets a unit, worsen the armor penetration characteristic by 1. All right, so you have Unforgiven Fury. 1 CP, Battle Tactics. It's in your shooting or fight phase. You target an Adeptus Astartes unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot or fight yet. Until the end of the phase, weapons equipped by models in your unit have lethal hits. In addition, if 1 or more Adeptus Astartes units from your army are currently battle shocked until the end of the phase, they crit on 5s. Okay. So, cool. Lethal hits is good overall, especially on specific units. So that's pretty good. And then critting on 5s with them is even better. So, Maybe things like Hellblasters, because Hellblasters are definitely a good unit for the Dark Angels, just in general, because of their Chapter Master guy. I cannot remember the names of, like, any of these characters. They're a fog to me. So anytime I try to recall one, I'm just like, that guy that gives you the shield. That's the dude I'm talking about. Yeah, so next you have Intractable. So that's great. That's great. Unforgiven Fury is great. It's at the, yeah, it's fighting or shooting phase. So you could use that on a lot of different units. You could use this on Terminators in the fight phase, give them lethals, give it to like, maybe on 5s, maybe? Yeah, maybe. So lethals in combat is great. Lethals in shooting is great. God, there's so many different units for Marines. Yeah, but getting lethals on stuff is good. I really like Hellblasters getting lethals. I think Hellblasters are one of the best targets for this, just off the top of my head. Maybe like a unit of the Plasma Inceptor guys, because they're a flat 3 damage. Oof, yeah, that would probably be a good target as well for this. So any high damage, high volume of attacks, that's what you're going to want to use this on for sure. Intractable. So this is 1 CP, Strategic Ploy. This is in your movement phase. Just after an Adeptus Astartes unit from your army falls back, you target that unit until the end of the phase. Your unit is eligible to shoot and declare a charge in which it fell back. Great. 1 CP, fall back, shoot, and charge. Right? Shoot and declare a charge. Yes. 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 Great. So that is, I like stratagems like this that are tricky. You're getting something into combat, and then you're able to fall back, shoot, and charge with it, or when your opponent gets into combat with you, say a unit of Hellblasters, for example, with a dude attached, they can then fall back, shoot, and if they want to, they can recharge you. So that is pretty good as well. I think it's probably better on units that don't want to get in combat as opposed to ones that do, but you could also use it on ones that do. So interesting. Very good. I love armies that have fallback, shoot, and charge. It's always a very annoying stratagem to have to play around. So that's good. Fire Discipline. This is a battle tactic for 1 CP. This is in your shooting phase. You target 1 Adeptus Astartes unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot. Until the end of the phase, ranged weapons equipped by models in your unit have assault, heavy, and ignores cover. Okay. So it's only on... Yep, so no, it's any unit. It's not an infantry unit or anything. So any unit, you just pick it, it gets heavy assault and ignores cover. Giving something assault is probably the best thing there. Well, ignores cover is good too, for sure. But being able to give something assault is very nice because you can use it to do actions if you need to. So you can advance something up, it's still eligible to shoot, can pop on an objective, cleanse it, deploy teleport homer, something along those lines. So that's pretty good. Getting the ignores cover is very helpful, so if you have like a big tank or something, you can give this to some sort of big tank and give all of its guns heavy, ignores cover, and assault, so even on the big tank, you can be advancing it with the intention to shoot with it, but get a little bit of extra range to try to get around pieces of terrain or into range, potentially, which normally it's just about getting line of sight. So yeah, that's pretty good. Just 1 CP, not bad, not amazing, just good. Yeah, definitely pretty good. Are there any other... Yeah, no, just put it on a big tank like a repulsor and just give all of its guns ignores cover. That's probably the best thing there, and assault. So you can advance that thing up and just boom, 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 boom. Grim Retribution. This is a strategic ploy for 1 CP. It's in your opponent's shooting phase just after an enemy unit has shot. You target an Adeptus Astartes unit from your army that has had one or more of its models destroyed as a result of the attacks. You can shoot as if it were your shooting phase, but it must target only the enemy unit that just attacked it, and it can only do so if they're an eligible target. So that should just be copy-pasted onto all of these. Games Workshop, just do that from now on. That way you're not having to rewrite Eldar stratagems like 4 times. So, yeah, this is great, especially with, I don't know, Hellblasters. So, seems pretty good, especially when your Hellblasters are getting lethal hits and stuff, or critting on 5s and stuff. So that seems good. Because I think your guy gives you stuff. We'll get to him. He made it changed. We're going to get to it. Anyway, Grim Retribution. Pretty damn good. You could use this on like a squad of aggressors. You could use this on a squad of these I just mentioned, the plasma guys. You could use it. Do they have any vehicle units? I don't think they do anymore. Like multiple dudes in a unit. Yeah, I don't think they really do. But anyway, great either way. Being able to shoot back at your opponent is awesome. So it's a very nice counter-reactive stratagem there. You got Unbreakable Lines next. That says it's a battle tactics for 2 CP. 2 CP. This is in your opponent's charge phase, just after an enemy unit ends a charge. You target an Adeptus Astartes unit from your army that's within an engagement range of the enemy unit until the end of the turn. And each time an attack targets unit, you subtract 1 from the wound roll. I think this used to be -1 damage. Almost positive that used to be -1 damage, which is significantly worse by a huge margin. It's not terrible, but it's bad for 2 CP, I'll tell you that. It is not usable for 2 CP in most situations. So you can kind of forget that one exists most of the time. It is any unit, though. Could be good on big, tough stuff, like tanks I'm thinking more of, right? It's Adeptus Astartes unit, yeah. It's only in combat, though, so probably things like Redemptor Dreadnoughts. Other big, stompy, dumpy combat units, this is probably pretty good on them. I do like that on a Dreadnought. It's 2 fucking CP. Like, give me a break, dude. No. Not for 2 CP. It's good, but not for 2 CP, but it's only good on, like, 2 units. And, yeah. Alright, so that does it for our Unforgiven Task Force. Next, we have the Inner Circle Task Force. So, Vowed Target. This is what they get. At the start of your command phase, select 1 objective marker. Until the start of your next command phase, that objective marker is your vowed objective marker. Each time a Deathwing infantry only, makes an attack that targets a unit within range of the objective marker, you add 1 to the wound roll. I wish it wasn't only infantry. There's a lot of good infantry, but yeah, so Deathwing infantry. So things that gain Deathwing keyword is going to be the Terminators, the Land Raiders, which aren't an infantry unit, Blade Guard, Stern Guard, Vanguard, like all the guard, basically, are going to get this ability. Yeah. So +1 to wound on an objective each turn. It's not horrible. It's better than the one before it, I think. Changing your OC to 1. Maybe. Alright, so Deathwing Infantry is going to be Terminators, and that's basically all that matters, because all the other stuff, like Blade Guard are good, but they're not that good. Stern Guard are pretty good, actually. So, +1 to wound with them. You're getting dev wounds anyway with them. That's kind of what your shtick is. So, I'm not sure what this really does for you. It's good for combat. Adds 1 to wound roll for combat. It's anytime they make an attack. So that's not bad. Makes Blade Guard better. Makes them much better because they're +1 to wound with those sword thingies. Your Terminators obviously become even better because they are strength 8 with Thunderhammers or whatever else you want to take. So that's pretty good for 1 objective marker only, though. Okay. Your restrictions are, your army can include Dark Angels units, but it cannot include any Adeptus Astartes units drawn from any other chapters. So that was the same as before. These are your enhancements. Deathwing model only. Melee weapons equipped by the bearer have lethal hits, and each time the bearer makes a melee attack, if it is within range of your vowed objective marker, you crit on 5s. Okay. So, helps out the army rule, which is nice, and it's pretty good. It gives you lethal hits on 5-ups if you're within range of the objective marker, which is where you want to be ideally for this detachment. So, that's pretty good. Pretty good indeed. Yeah. So also what I'm going to do here, and you've already seen it, is I'm going to put the points on screen because I don't have them in front of me. So I'm just going to do that. But we got Champion of the Deathwing. That does change, obviously, it changes my opinion on certain things, but I'm going to put it on screen either way. But Champion of the Deathwing, pretty interesting. Lethal hits and 5-ups on crits and stuff. Then you have Eye of the Unseen. This is a Deathwing model only, so each time you target the bearer's unit with a strat, Roll 1d6, adding 1 if the bearer is within range of your vowed objective marker. On a 5+, you gain 1 CP. Nope. Okay. Singular Will. Death model only, Deathwing model only. Each time the bearer's unit piles in or consolidates, models in that unit can move an additional 3 inches. That's pretty good. Especially because of Terminators moving so slowly normally. So if you can get them into combat, they're going to move 3 and then they're going to move another 6. Or the other way around. Or both? It's both. Oh man, it's both. So that's good. Yeah, that's good. Singular Will is good. So if you have a Terminator squad, which is mostly your Deathwing, because Deathwing is Terminator bound, you're gonna be moving real fast. When you're getting into combat, you can slingshot so far. This will allow you to get into combat with things that you wouldn't have been able to get into combat with normally if you play it right. So I think that's pretty fucking awesome. That is good. Singular Will is good. Alright, Deathwing Assault. Deathwing model only, with a deep strike ability only. So basically only a Terminator captain. The bearer's unit can be set up using the deep strike ability in the reinforcement step of your first, second, or third movement phase, regardless of any mission rules. That is crazy. Not crazy. It's probably 30 points, I'm gonna guess. Just kind of thinking out loud because of the Grey Knight one. I think the Grey Knight one's like 30 points. So Deathwing Assault, that's great, because you could rapid ingress a unit of Terminators. Just Terminators. It's just a Terminators.army. So you're going to put Terminators down with rapid ingress turn 1. That's fucking awesome. Yeah. I think that's pretty good. Alright, so that's really good. Deathwing Assault. Depending on how many points this is, very, very useful because of being able to rapid ingress on turn 1. So, yeah, I really like that. And even if you're not rapid ingressing, you can just bring them down turn 1. So, that's amazing. Being able to just put... It's just like if you're going second as Grey Knights, they pick up a unit of stuff, and then in their first turn, they can bring it down. So, awesome stuff. It's kind of like doing that. But you just get to do it anyway. Alright, I've spent enough time talking about that one. We have Armor of Contempt as the first stratagem. You then have Martial Mastery. This is in your fight phase, you target one Deathwing infantry unit from your army that has not been selected to fight. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit makes an attack, reroll a wound roll of 1. If you're within range of the vowed objective marker, you reroll a wound roll instead. So +1 to wound, reroll wounds, dead. Dead thing. That's what these two do together. So... Terminators being +1 to wound and re-rolling. Let's say you're an Imperial Knight. I wound you on 5s, now I wound you on 4s, now I re-roll it, that's a 75% chance of getting a wound. So, pretty good. Yeah, great. Awesome. Very good. That allows you to punch way above your weight class with that. Being able to re-roll wounds and getting +1 to wound. Way above your weight class, so that's pretty good. Even on like a 5-man unit, they can really start putting in some damage, as long as they're like AP2 or so. You know, if you're AP1, no. But, alright, now we have Duty Unto Death, 1 CP. Strategic Ploy Stratagem. Fight phase. Just after an enemy unit has selected its targets, one Deathwing unit from your army that was selected as a target of 1 or more of those attacks. Till the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit is destroyed, if it has not fought, roll 1d6, adding 1 if it's within range of your vowed objective marker. Do not remove the destroyed model from play. It can fight after the attacking unit has finished making its attacks, and then it is removed from play. We've seen this 100 times before. It's fights on death on a 4-up/3-up, depending on what you're doing. So if you're on your objective marker or not. So which is also going to mean you're going to get your +1 to wound, which is great. So, interesting. Fights on death strats are nice because they kind of throw your opponent off if they're not expecting them. You know, they're expecting to go in, destroy this entire unit, and then just be able to control the objective. That's not always going to be the case. They're going to maybe actually lose the combat at that point if you're fighting on death and not losing your entire squad. So, there you go. Not so bad. Obviously, it's only going to be on Terminators, so interesting. Okay. Relic Teleportarium. This is in your movement phase for 1 CP. It is a strategic ploy. One Deathwing unit from your army that is arriving using the Deep Strike ability this phase, your unit can be set up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 3 inches horizontally away from all enemy models. Till the end of the turn, your unit is not eligible to declare a charge. This, in and of itself, makes this playable as a faction, sort of, kind of, as a detachment. Because being able to Deep Strike within 3 inches of an opponent is really, really strong. And this is why I advocate for the Infiltrators with the Phobos Librarian. They just shut that shit down completely. They say, you can't Deep Strike within 12 of me. You can't shoot me because I'm a lone op. You can't charge me because you're outside of 12. Get fucked. Take a unit of those if you're playing Space Marines. They're a little expensive for what they... No, I take that back. Just take them. It's 170 points right now, and it's dumb because it prevents stuff like this. This allows your opponent to Deep Strike onto your home field objective, as an example. Yeah, like you could use this on like a character if you really wanted to or something, have some kind of plan like that, but realistically, you're going to use this to Deep Strike Terminators, because it's Terminators, not detachment. You're going to Deep Strike Terminators down, and you're going to end up controlling the objective that way, because maybe you have an Ancient with them for +1 OC. So you just come down, take the objective. It's awesome. So that is really, really nice. Really nice. Can't charge them, but who cares? You have a 10-man Terminator squad there at that point. So, yeah. Now, a way to play around something like this, guys, would be to try to surround the objective entirely. That way your opponent can't actually get onto it. I mean, pretty basic stuff there. Not always easy, depending on what your army is what it's composed of, but generally, if you can do that, you want to block off areas of the objective. You want to be like on the outside of it. That way your opponent can't just Deep Strike on top of it. Anyway, we got Wrath of the Lion. Epic deed. It's epic, and it's a deed. It's 1 CP. It's in your charge phase. One Deathwing infantry unit from your army that just ends at a charge move. Okay. Select one enemy unit within engagement range of your unit and roll 1d6 for each model in your unit, adding 1 to the result if it's on the Vowed Objective marker. On a 4+, you suffer 1 mortal wound to a maximum of 3. So you select one enemy unit, you roll 1d6 for each model in your unit, and it maxes at 3? Why? Fucking why? So forget that exists. It's like a bad... it's like a tank shock, but not, because it's awful. No, don't do that. It's fine, because you're gonna get 3 mortal wounds through. So, you know, if it happens that you need to do that, you have that chance. So if you're playing with a 10-man unit of Terminators, you can almost guarantee to get those 3 mortal wounds through. If you're playing with a 5-man, you're gonna need them to be on the Vowed Objective marker, because otherwise you're kind of gambling at that point between 2 and 3, going up, being a 4-up when you charge. So, yeah. Alright, Unmatched Fortitude. Battle Tactics for 1 CP. This is in your opponent's shooting phase just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. You target a Deathwing infantry unit from your army that was selected as the target of one or more of the attacks. Until the end of the phase, each time an attack targets your unit, if the strength characteristic of the attack is greater than the toughness, subtract 1 from the wound roll. Is that the same? This is in the shooting phase instead of the charge phase. Okay, so that's the difference here. This is -1 to be wounded in the shooting phase, which is probably better, arguably. This one is in the charge phase. So that's an interesting difference there. And this only affects infantry, whereas this one affects anything. So, okay, got it. So, -1, yeah, -1 to wound. If your strength is higher than the toughness of my unit, as long as I'm an infantry unit. Okay. All right, that's the whole thing there. Next, you have the Company of Hunters. They hunt in a company. They hunt for a company called Caliban Incorporated. All right, so Masters of Maneuver. Adeptus Astartes units from your army that are eligible to shoot in a turn in which they advanced or fell back. All right, I like that. Same as before, you can include other chapters. Outrider units from your army gain the battle line keyword. That's interesting. It's a shame it doesn't improve their OC by 1, but that would have been too smart, maybe. All right, so that's pretty good. That is pretty good. Being able to shoot in a turn in which you advanced or fell back, that's great. So that makes you that gives you a lot of versatility and a lot of options on your opponent's turn, because they're going to be getting into combat with you, and on your turn, if you're still there, you can fall back, shoot, and then just charge, or not charge, but you can fall back and still shoot them. So really, really good, really, really great. I like stuff like that. It affects everything, so it's all your vehicles, it's all your bikes, it's all your infantry, it's everything. Shoot and fall back. I love shoot and fall back, and advance. It's just awesome. That also is good because of secondaries. So you can advance units up, and you can still be eligible to shoot, and therefore be eligible to do secondaries. So yeah, this is the best detachment rule so far, and it comes with a second part as well. So overall, I think this one is probably the best. Okay. So this is going to have a lot to do with the Ravenwing, right? Yeah, Ravenwing mounted. So this is going to be your flying vehicles and your bikes. That's going to try to compose your army at least. But yeah, just getting the ability to advance and fall back and shoot, you just make a shooting army at that point. Like, you don't give a fuck about combat because you can just fall back and shoot at them. So yeah, you don't get to swing back with anything important, but like, you've got guns in your next turn, and you don't have to worry about being in combat. You could, yeah, and being able to advance and still do actions. Yep, great. So this overall is going to be just a good detachment, I think. I don't think it's going to be great, but I think it's going to be good. So let's go over the enhancements, because this is going to be good for pretty much any unit you take in your army. So yeah, literally anything will like that. So your enhancements are Mastercrafted Power Weapon. Mastercrafted Weapon, not even Power Weapon. It's a Raven Wing model only. Has melee weapons gain precision. Oh no. Please, God, no. Okay. So I immediately just think Gravis Captain. Like, he's one of the best characters for just raw damage, right? Or maybe a jump pack captain with a Thunderhammer. Getting precision on them is cool, but yeah, I'm just not sure about that one. Not sure if that's really that worth taking. I mean, unless it's like 10 points, then it might be worth it. It is pretty nice to have it because it'll catch people off guard. But it's just like, I don't even know, man. You have like a 4-wound character with a 4-up invuln. I hit you with a Gravis Captain. I miss one of them. I maybe miss one of the wounds because you're rolling 5 wounds at that point, and I barely kill you if you've only got 4 wounds, which most, like, a Marine character is probably going to have 5 or something higher than that, like some other character higher than that. So yeah, no, I just don't like it. I don't think it's very useful on a lot of things, unless I'm missing something there, which is totally possible. But yeah, I mean, at a glance, just getting precision isn't good enough. Mounted Strategist, Ravenwing model only. The bearer's unit is eligible to declare a charge in a turn in which it advanced or fell back. Okay, so this one doesn't let you charge, but this does. So interesting that it's Ravenwing model only, because that means that you would have to use it on like a mounted character. So probably maybe something in here, but more importantly, like a chaplain on a bike, I think is still a character you can run. The captain on bike's gone, so yeah, there's chaplain on bike. There might be somebody else on a bike that I can't remember for some reason, but that seems to be the only target that I can think of at the moment. eligible to declare charge and turn which advanced or fell back. Yeah. So, yeah, probably a chaplain. Probably a chaplain. Master of Maneuver, Ravenwing model only. If the bearer's unit starts the battlefield in strategic reserve, its point value does not count toward the combined total limit for your army that are in strategic reserve, and for the purposes of setting that unit up on the battlefield, treat the current battle round as being one higher than it actually is. So, this is pretty good. If you can have like an entire unit of like Ravenwing Black Knights in reserve, you can just bring them on turn 1, which is pretty nice because that means you're basically outflanking them turn 1 at that point. If this is the table, you know, you start here, you can come in from these other sides as long as you're not in your opponent's deployment zone. So that's pretty cool. It's a difference between being able to like scout or something like that. You can stay off the table, stay invisible, stay completely out of line of sight and damage, and then just kind of come on when you need to. This is also something I'll mention. The stratagems like this are ones that you're going to want to ask your opponent, or enhancements in general in stratagems, are ones you're going to want to ask your opponent about pre-game. I'll make a video about just tips and tricks that you need to do, but at some point, that's something you should ask your opponent about. Like, do you have any sort of way to advance and fall back and charge, for example? Do you have any way to advance and shoot after you fell back? So these are all relevant things that you're going to want to ask your opponent just overall in games, because a lot of armies can do these kinds of things, just not as their actual detachment rule. So that's just something to keep in mind. So these dudes, they can come on the battlefield a turn earlier. So if that wasn't something you were expecting, you should probably ask about it before the game starts. Like, do you have anything that allows you to come deep strike turn 1 or come onto the table turn 1? And they will say, yes, I have this thing. You're like, okay, that's relevant because now I know I need to position differently. So that's pretty good, just by the fact that it allows you to come onto the battlefield sooner. Ravenwing model only, so I'm pretty sure that's maybe something in here. Blackwing Knights and like a chaplain on a bike. And then you have this one, which is the Recon Hunter. Models in the bearer's unit have Scout 9-inch ability, so that's pretty good. It's not Infiltrate, which is better, but that's good enough, I think. 9-inch Scout. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't seem bad. Unit of Black Knights, again. Or like a command squad of stuff all mishmash together. That doesn't seem too bad to me. So, yeah, I think that's a good one. This is a good one. This is a good one. This is a good one, actually. So these three are actually very, very good. Mounted Strategist for fallback advance, which is great. Or, yeah, so you can charge in turn when you fell back or advanced. Then you have this coming on turn earlier, and then the Scout 9 inches. All great things. Stratagems next. Hunter's Trail. This is a strategic ploy for 1 CP. It's in your command phase. You target a Ravenwing mounted unit from your army that is within range of an objective marker you control. That objective marker remains under your control even if you have no models within range of it, so until your opponent controls it. Great. That is going to be, what's it called? Sticky Objectives. Sticky Objectives is good. That's a good stratagem. 1 CP. Put it on your backfield thing. Maybe keep some stuff around it just in case, since people can't deep strike on it. And then it's just under your control for the rest of the game, and you're getting points from it, and you're having a great time. Armor of Contempt. We know Armor of Contempt. Talon Strike, strategic ploy for 1 CP. This is in your shooting phase or fight phase. You target a Ravenwing mounted unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot or fight this phase. Until the end of the phase, each time a model from your unit makes an attack that targets an infantry character or mounted character unit, you add 1 to the wound roll. Let me read that again. This is in your shooting phase or fight phase. You target a mounted Ravenwing thing that hasn't shot or fought. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit makes an attack that targets an infantry character or a mounted character, add 1 to the wound roll? Forget that exists. Death on the Wind. 1 CP, Battle Tactics Stratagem. This is in your shooting phase. You target a Ravenwing unit from your army that has just shot. You select 1 enemy unit that was hit by 1 or more of those attacks, and that unit must take a Battle Shock test. When doing so, if 1 or more Ravenwing units from your army are within 6 inches of that unit, subtract 1 from the test. Probably forget that exists as well. If we're actually trying to consider this tactically, though, this can have some play, because you can drive up your bikes to something on an objective marker with a lot of OC, And you can force them to take a battle shock test at -1 if you have 2 units by them, which could be game-changing, potentially. I just hate battle shock. I think it's awful. But, yeah, you could potentially maybe on like a 60-40, maybe make someone take a battle shock test and take the objective away. But when you do it, that will matter. So, overall, it's fine. It's 1 CP, can't really ask for any less, I guess. Yeah, so, cool. Then you have High Speed Focus. This is Company of Hunters Battle Tactic Stratagem, so these are the Company of Hunters. Yeah, 1 CP. This is in your opponent's shooting phase, just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. Target a Ravenwing unit from your army that was selected as a target of those attacks until the end of the phase. Each time an attack targets your unit, subtract 1 from the hit roll. Okay. So this is on any Ravenwing unit, so any tank, potentially, any flying stuff, bikes, everything. This as well, that it can be done on anything. Yeah, this is just fucking weird. But yeah, this one, so Death on the Wind, oh, that's kind of meh. Death on the Wind and High Speed Focus are both just your army mostly, like not your infantry necessarily. But all your bikes, all of your flying stuff, so all your Lancers, and I think a Lancer has flying, right? The floating tank? It doesn't have flying, does it? Okay. Stormraven has flying, though, and so do their vehicle things. So, yeah. Subtract 1 from the hit roll. It's fine. It is fine. Then you have Rapid Reprisal. This is 1 CP Battle Tactic Stratagem. This is at the end of your opponent's fight phase. You target a Ravenwing unit from your army that is not within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units. You remove it from the battlefield, put it into Strategic Reserve. So, kind of what you were going to expect there. If you're on this side of the battlefield, you can pop them off as long as they're not within engagement range. So, not bad. Not bad at all, especially if you have a big old unit that needs to jump off the table and end up somewhere else the next turn. That's pretty good for sneaking around the table. I'm just trying to think if any of these really help with that. Not particularly. Right? I'm not missing anything there. Don't think so. Okay. So that's what you got for your 3 detachments. So I do think this is the best detachment rule overall. It has, I think, probably the worst stratagems, though. But maybe some of the best enhancements, so it is kind of mixed here. Yeah. So these guys getting +1 to wound near their objective is cool. I don't know, man. I don't think this has really got it. Let's take a look at their data sheets. That's a very cool picture. Got that hammer. Just hammering him up. All right. Lion L. Johnson, which I think literally translates to Lion the Johnson. He's movement of 8, toughness of 9, 2 up, 3 up in bone. He's got 10 wounds, a 5 up leadership, and OC of 4. OC of 4. Yeah, okay. He's got Amma Luminous, which is a pistol. It's either 4 shots at strength 4, AP 1, damage 2, or it's 2 shots at strength 8, AP 3, and damage 2, which is the plasma version of it. So, I guess, yeah, we shoot the plasma version of that. In combat, he has either lethal hits at 8 attacks, strength 12, AP 4, and a flat 4 damage. Damn. Or he has a sweep attack that is sustained hits, 16 attacks. Obviously, he's hitting on 2s with everything. 16 attacks, strength 6, AP 3, and damage 1. So he swings pretty fucking hard. 8 attacks at flat 4 damage and AP 4. That will cleave through some stuff, and it's got lethal hits, so pretty good. All the secrets revealed. Once per turn, so he gets these abilities from this thing. So let me just read this first. In your command phase, select one of the Primarch of the First Legion abilities on the left. Until the start of your next command phase, this model has that ability. The first one is the All Secrets Revealed. Once per turn, when your opponent targets a unit from their army with a stratagem, but before that stratagem's effects are resolved, If that unit is within 12 inches of this model, you gain 1 CP, and that enemy unit must take a battle shock test. If the test is failed, in addition to that unit being battle shocked, the stratagem's effects are not resolved, and it still it counts as being used, so they lose the CP. So that's kind of interesting. It's just a very disruptive ability, but this guy's like 350 points or something outrageous, so not really sure that I like that for 350 points. While a friendly Adeptus Astartes unit, so this is Martial Exemplar. While a friendly Adeptus Astartes unit is within 6 inches of this model, each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack, add 1 to the hit roll. It's only in melee, which is not as good as it being a shooting thing, so I guess that's fine. It's good to have +1 to hit in combat, obviously. So if you're using a combat build or maybe running him around with some bikes, because he's kind of can run up with them or something, I don't know. But fine, +1 to hit as long as you're within 6 inches of this dude in combat. So that's what that does. Then you have no hiding from the Watchers. While a friendly Adeptus Astartes unit is within 6 inches of this model, models in that unit have the Feel No Pain 4+ ability against mortal wounds. Yeah, that ain't gonna cut it. It's mortal wounds specifically. It's not even mortal wounds and psychic attacks. It's not against devastating wounds. It's just mortal wounds, which is like vehicles exploding, basically. That's pretty much it. And grenades and tank shock. So, no, not gonna cut it. He has Deep Strike. He has Fights First. He has Oath of the Moment. Everything in the army is gonna have Oath of the Moment. He has the Emperor's Shield. Each time a melee attack is allocated to this model, on an unmodified saving throw of 6, the attacking unit suffers 1 mortal wound after their attack's been made. So, fine. Anytime you roll a 6 in combat, right? Melee attack, yeah. So anytime you roll a 6 in combat, the attacking unit suffers a mortal wound, and that's kind of cool. But it's not -1 to be wounded anymore, which was better by a long shot. You have Dark Angel Bodyguard. While this model is within 3 inches of one or more friendly Adeptus Astartes infantry, it has the lone operative ability. So he's just himself. He's got his sword. He's got his gun. He must be your warlord. He's a monster. He's a character. He's epic. He's from the Imperium. He's a Primarch. Okay. You have this Inner Circle Champions. So what is this? Some sort of command squad, I guess? It looks to be some sort of command squad thing. So 3 to 6 models in the unit. They move 6. They're toughness 4 with a 3-up save and 3 wounds apiece. Leadership 6. OC 2. They look cool. They have heavy bolt pistols, strength 4, AP 1, damage 1, hitting on 3s at 18 inches, and then they have the, Carbonite Greatsword. Did I get that right? I don't know. 4 attacks, strength 6, AP 1, damage 2, with lethal hits, or you have sustained hits 2, 4 attacks, strength 6, AP 1, damage 1. That's better, right? Sustained 2? Right? That's better? That's probably better. Alright, so attached unit. If a character unit from your army could lead Sternguard veterans, it can lead these guys instead. It's interesting. They have Oath, they have Braziers of Judgment. While a character model is leading this unit, each time an attack targets this unit, subtract 1 from the hit roll. Okay, so they're -1 to be hit against everything that's shooting in combat. So they have a bunch of attacks at strength 6, AP 1, damage 1 with sustained 2. So okay. Each time a model in this unit makes an attack that targets a character, you add 1 to the hit roll. So they go from hitting on 3s to hitting on 2s if they're targeting a character. Like, when do you ever find yourself attacking a character directly? Not very often. They come in units of 3 to 6, so I guess they're supposed to be Sternguard? They're almost more like Sword Brethren type things, right? Look at them. They're black too? Yeah, they're definitely Sword Brethren. They have the great sword thing, and they have a heavy bolt pistol. Their OC is 2, which is interesting. Their infantry, Imperium, Deathwing. They do have the Deathwing keyword. Tacticus, and then Inner Circle Champions. Are these new? They're new. I'm saying they're new. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I've never seen them before, so they must be new. Interesting little unit here. Okay, so I want to do some quick math on this. So 24 attacks, you're going to get 8 additional hits. So you're going to hit with all of them. As opposed to 24 attacks hitting with 16 of them, 4 of which are automatically going to wound. That leaves you at, what, 12? And you got to roll a wound. 2 damage apiece, though. The nice thing is you get to pick between the 2 profiles, so that's pretty cool. I'm not sure that they're good enough at AP1, and it depends how many points they are. I really wish I had the points in front of me. Like I said, I don't, but I could. You know what? We're going to put the points up. Okay. Lionel Johnson. Lionel Johnson. Well, first, what I'm going to do here is pop back to the enhancements. Okay, so the Unforgiven Task Force, the Pennant, this guy here, that's 10 points. So this was for the Ancient, giving them a 4-up Feel No Pain. Weapons of the First Legion. That's 15 points. That's pretty good. That's where you can get +2 to your attack, strength, and damage. Stubborn Tenacity is 15 points. That's when you get +1 to hit and +1 to wound if you're battle shocked. And then the last one, the Shroud of Heroes, is 25 points. They come back to life. Okay. So in our Inner Circle Task Force, Champion of the Deathwing. This is 15 points. So getting lethals and crits on 5s if you're within range of the vowed objective marker. Cool. Eye of the Unseen. That is going to be 10 points. Yeah, it needs to be 10 points. Singular Will is 20 points. That is why, yeah, that's 20 points. It's pretty damn good. And then, yep, the coming in the reinforcement step of your first, second, or third movement phase with Deathwing Assault, that is 30 points. So it's just the same as Grey Knights. Okay, so these guys. Mastercrafted Weapon. That's 10 points. Yeah, it should be 0 points. Mounted Strategist. 30 points. Okay. Yeah, pretty good. Charge and advance, even if you fell back. It's a charge and a turn which advanced or fell back. Yeah, so 30 points for that. So pretty expensive. Not sure if it's worth it at 30 points. Not sure if it's worth it. Master of Maneuver. That is going to be 15 points. That's pretty good for coming on first, second, or third battle round. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's pretty good, especially with like Rapid Ingress. I think that works with Rapid Ingress. But at 15 points either way, that's great. And then Recon Hunter, that's 20 points. The Scout 9 inches, still good. Yeah, if you're taking it on a big unit of bikes, I still think that's worth it. 20 points. So, all right. That gives me a little bit more of an idea. I think we'll probably come back to these kind of as in the conclusion of the video, just to kind of figure out if we can think of anything cool. So we covered these dudes and Lionel Johnson. Lionel Johnson is 350 points. Yep. Not worth 350 points. Not even close. Not even close. It's not close. Inner Circle Champions. How many points are these guys? They are 105 points for 3. They don't even have an invuln. So these are 105 points for 3. They're 210 for 6. Nah. Just take aggressors, right? Yeah. Yeah. No. Okay, don't take them. Azrael, that's the dude's name that I was thinking about earlier. Azrael's 105 points. That's it. I don't know if that's a lot or not, but this is what he does. Move this out of their way. So Azrael, he moves 6, he's toughness 4, he's got a 2-up and a 4-up invuln. He's got 6 wounds, he's leadership 6, and he's OC 1. So his ranged weapon is the Lion's Wrath, which is anti-infantry 4-up, dev wounds, and rapid fire. It's 2 attacks, strength 8, AP 3, and damage 2. Seems good. Cool. That's pretty good. That's very good. Very, very good. Yeah, so anyway, combat. Sword of Secrets, dev wounds. It's got 6 attacks, strength 6, AP 4, damage 2. Hitting on 2s. So, yeah. He can be attached to Assault Intercessors, Blade Guard, Hellblasters, Infernus Marines, Inner Circle Champions, Intercessors, Stern Guard Veteran, and Tactical Squads. He's just himself. He's a leader, he's got Oath of Moment. He is the Supreme Grand Master. While he's leading unit, weapons equipped by models in that unit have sustained hits 1. Yeah, so he gives out sustained hits. So with some of your strats, being able to proc things on 5-ups, that's good. I like that. A lot. He's masterful tactician. At the start of your command phase, if he's on the battlefield, you gain a CP. He also has the Lion's Helm. Models in the bearer's unit have a 4-up invulnerable save, and in addition, once per battle in any phase, the bearer can summon a Watcher in the dark. When it does, until the end of the phase, models in the bearer's unit have Feel No Pain 4+ against mortal wounds. So, yeah, seems good. 4-up invuln for his whole unit of Hellblasters, because that's what you're going to put him with, because then they get the sustained hits 1. I just think that that's probably your best bet. Yeah, getting sustained hits 1 is great on them, especially with Oath of the Moment, reroll everything, and yeah, that unit will just kill things. You can probably put a Apothecary with that unit as well, because I think Apothecaries can join even if there's already a character attached. So you could have this guy with an Apothecary who's bringing back guys that are killing themselves, and those guys can be shooting back at you when they're killing themselves. So yeah, with sustained hits, with reroll everything. Seems cool. Seems pretty cool. Yeah, Azrael is great. Azrael is great. I like Azrael. You then have Asmodai. Asmodai is 70 points, so he's a little dinky bitch. He's movement of 6, toughness 4. He's got a 3-up save, 4 wounds. Yeah, leadership 5, and OC 1. Got a heavy bolt pistol. Hits on 3s, strength 4, AP 1, damage 1. Crozius Arcanum and power weapon. It's got 2 profiles. It either strikes, 5 attacks, strength 6, AP 2, damage 2, or 8 attacks. Damn, it doesn't get like anything special. 8 attacks, and strength 5, AP 2, damage 1. So you're probably going to just use the regular power weapon thing. He can be attached to the following units: Assault Intercessors, Blade Guard, Hellblasters, Infernus, Inner Circle Champions, Intercessors, Stern Guard, Tacticals. So the same thing as this guy. I think it's identical. Asmodai, what do? You are the Exemplar of Hate. While this model is leading a unit, each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack, you can reroll the hit roll. Okay. Feared Interrogator at the start of the fight phase. Each enemy character within 6 inches of this model must take a battle shock test, subtracting 1 from the test when they do so. In addition, each time this model destroys an enemy character model with a melee attack, you gain 1 CP. Nah. Nah. 70 points, though. That's pretty cheap. Can get you CP, maybe. Won't ever do it, but yeah, reroll hits is good. What does he do, though? Oh, I forgot about the keywords. So, Azrael is infantry character, epic hero, grenades. Grenades is good. Imperium Deathwing. So he's also got the Deathwing keyword. He's Tacticus, and he's a chapter master. Mr. Asmodai, he's an infantry character, epic hero with grenades. Imperium, also Deathwing. Chaplain, Tacticus. Then you have Belial. Belial is 85 points. He moves 5 inches. He's toughness 5. He's got a 2-up save and a 4-up invuln, 6 wounds. Leadership 6 and OC 1. He's got a mastercrafted Stormbolter, precision, okay, and rapid fire 2, 24 inches, 2 shots, strength 4, AP 0, damage 2. Then he's got the Sword of Silence. That's 6 attacks at Strength 6, AP 2, and Damage 2. He can be attached to Deathwing Knights, Deathwing Terminators, and Terminators. So, all the Terminators, you can put Belial with them. He has Deep Strike, Leader, Oath of Moment, and then Grandmaster of the Deathwing. While this model is leading a unit, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, if a critical hit is scored, that attack has precision. God, dude. Okay. I can't, dude. Strikes of Retribution. Each time a melee attack is allocated to this model, after the attacking unit has finished making its attacks, roll d6 to a maximum of 6d6 per unit. For each 4+, the attacking unit suffers 1 mortal wound. So on the turn in which he dies, you get to make a bunch of rolls. Right? Each melee attack. So you just roll a bunch of dice, and he does 3 mortal wounds to you when he dies. That's basically what this says. So that's what that does. He gives his unit precision. This is garbage, dude. Yeah, Belial's awful. He's so bad. He's how many points? 85? Okay. He's an infantry character, epic hero, Imperium Terminator, Deathwing. You're never going to see him. You are going to see Azrael, though. Azrael, I think, is an auto-take. Azrael is super duper good. He is able to join a lot of different units, and he gives you a CP if he's on the battlefield. He gives his unit a 4-up invuln and a potential 4-up feel no pain against mortal wounds. And he gives you sustained hits 1. Like, not good, all-star so far. So he's going to be awesome. We'll talk about him a little more. Ezekiel. He moves 6, he's toughness 4, he's got a 2-up save, 4-up invuln, 4 wounds, leadership 6, OC 1. He's got the Deliverer. It's a pistol with precision. It's a 2 damage pistol that's AP 1. Strength 4, AP 1, damage 1, hits on 2s. He then has Mind Wipe, which is a psychic thing. Either devastating wounds, psychic precision thing that is strength 6, AP 2, damage d6. Or you can get anti-character 4+. Devastating wounds, hazardous, precision, psychic. Strength 6, AP 2, damage d6. It's the same thing, he just becomes anti-character and gains hazardous. Come on, it's 1 shot, it's d6 damage? Nah. Anti-character 4+ and precision, yeah. So you can try to snipe out a character. Okay. Yeah, Traitor's Bane. Anti-chaos 2+ and psychic, 4 attacks. Strength 6, AP 2, damage D3, hitting on 2s. He can be attached to Assault Intercessors, Blade Guard, Hellblasters, Infernus Dudes, Inner Circle Companions, Intercessor Squads, Stern Guards, Tactical Squads. So Ezekiel is 75 points. He's a leader, he has Oath of the Moment, he's got a Psychic Hood. While he's leading a unit, models in that unit have Feel No Pain 4+ against psychic attacks. His Engulfing Fear, in your shooting phase, you can select one enemy unit within 18 inches. They take a Battle Shock test. Yo, if you want to play against other Dark Angels, then, you know, that'll be cool, because you can Battle Shock them a bunch with all these stupid Battle Shock abilities. Right. He's got the Book of Salvation. While he's leading a unit, you add one of the attacks characteristic of melee weapons equipped by models in that unit. And when this model is destroyed, each friendly attempts to start his unit within 6 inches must take a Battle Shock test. Like, that's bad. He's a bad unit. I would just throw him into combat, like, just try to get your shit Battle Shocked so that have him die, throw him in there, have him die, let him try to Battle Shock you and fail, and then maybe your stuff will be better. What the fuck, dude? Okay. Samael. He moves 12. He's toughness 5. He's got a 3-up save and a 4-up invuln, 7 wounds. Leadership 6, OC of 2. So he's pretty tanky right there. He's got tanky. He's toughness 5. 7 wounds. Cool. Okay. He's got a bolt pistol. I don't care. He's got a mastercrafted plasma cannon. It's blast. It's 36 inches. It's D3 shots. Strength 8, AP 3, and damage 2. It does not have hazardous. So that's cool. Strength 8, AP 3, damage 2. D3 shots. Not so bad. And then he's got a twin storm bolter. We know what this is. Rapid fire 2 and twin linked. 2 shots at strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. And then combat, he has the Raven sword. This is sustain 2. Sustain 2. Sustain 2 with 6 attacks. Weapon skill 2, strength 6, AP 3, and damage 2. So on 6 attacks, you're getting 7 hits. Because one of them will be a 6, one of them will miss. And so you'll get 7. So that's pretty awesome. AP3 is a good threshold to cross, and he's going to be slicing people up with that sword. He can be attached to Outriders and Ravenwing Black Knights. He leads. He's got Oath of the Moment. He's the Grand Master of the Ravenwing. While he's leading a unit, that unit is eligible to shoot and declare a charge in a turn in which it advanced. That's very good. That is super useful that it's on his data sheet. You're probably going to play him in Ravenwing either way because he's got the Ravenwing keyword. But yeah, being able to advance and still shoot and charge is really good because of secondary reasons or just being able to get up into people's faces, charge them, take over the objective that way. So, awesome. Cut off their escape each time an enemy unit, excluding monsters and vehicles within engagement range of this model's unit, is selected to fall back. Models in that enemy unit must take a desperate escape test as if their unit was battle shocked. What? When doing so, if the enemy unit is also battle shocked by other means, subtract 1 from each of those desperate escape tests. Doesn't that like kill you on a 4-up? Because if you fall back when you're battle shocked, it's like on a 1, 2, and 3, I think, or something, right? I'll have to double check now. But that's kind of hilarious. Yeah. Just blowing people up as they run away. So that's pretty interesting. I like him a lot. He is an amount of points, and that amount of points is on this page somewhere. 130. He's 130 points. So he's pretty expensive. Yeah, I mean, he's good. He gives you shoot and charge in advance, which is really, really good. And then he makes you die when you fall back from him. That's really good. It's just, it sucks that it doesn't affect monsters and vehicles, but, I mean, that would be pretty good if it did. So, can't complain too much there. But yeah, as soon as you tag a unit and it wants to fall back, it's just going to lose models. And that's great for units that can fall back, shoot, and do stuff anyway, because then they're at least affected by falling back still. And then potentially their firepower has been reduced enough where it's not enough to do enough damage back to you. So that's pretty interesting. He can only be attached to a couple different units, though. So, yeah. Let's get to some of those units. But first, let's do Lazarus, because he's the next one. I hope he's the last character. He moves 6. Alright, so Samael, he's mounted character, epic hero, fly, grenades. He's got grenades. They all have grenades. Imperium, Ravenwing, Captain. This guy have grenades? He does. Yep, so this guy has grenades as well, which is all I care about. And Deathwing. This guy has Ravenwing. Lazarus. Lazarus moves 6. He's toughness 4. He's got a 3-up, 4-up, 5 wounds, leadership 6, OC 1. He's got a bolt pistol. Who cares? He's got Amenity's Edge, which is anti-psyker 2+ with 6 attacks, strength 6, AP2, AP3, and damage 2. Yeah, AP3, damage 2. Pretty cool. He can be attached to Assault Intercessors, Blade Guard, Infernus Dudes, Inner Circle Companions, Intercessors, Stern Guard, Tactical Squads. Okay. He has Intractable Will. While this model is leading a unit, each time a model in that unit is destroyed by a melee attack, if that model has not fought this phase, roll a d6. On a 4+, do not remove it from play, gets to fight. So he gives you fight on death on a 4-up for the unit that he's leading. I wish that was something better, like auto, instead of on a 4-up normally, because then you could just throw this unit into combat and just be like, and just kind of let them die, and then they could fight back. But considering what he can lead, maybe, Blade Guard Veteran are probably the best target for that. Maybe the Inner Circle Companions, getting that fights on death on a 4-up. The Spirit Shield Helm. This model has Feel No Pain 3+ against psychic attacks and mortal wounds. This model. My god, dude. You are bad. 70 points. I do like the fights on death thing, I just don't like that it's on a 4-up. And so, it's bad to me. I don't like taking chances. You know, it just doesn't seem great. Alright, so infantry character, epic hero, grenades, Imperium, Deathwing. So I think that's all the characters. Right? Yes, okay. So that's for all the characters. Samael, for sure, is good. I think he's a little overcosted, but he's great. And then Azrael, just way, way better than any of those other characters that are here. By miles. Giving you a 4-up invuln. Getting you the CP. Giving you sustained hits. Being able to lead Hellblasters. Yeah, he's really good for his points. So, that is the way the cookie crumbled here. I do like Samael as well. So let's get on to some other stuff. We got Deathwing Terminators. These move 5, they're toughness 5, they got a 2-up, 4-up, 3 wounds, leadership 6, OC 1. They're the same as every other Terminator in the game. They can take assault cannons, that's dev wounds, strength 6, AP 0, damage 1, with 6 shots at 24 inches. They can also take the Cyclone Missile Launcher. That's the thing with 2 different profiles that we've seen a million fucking times. It's either a frag or a crack. The frag is a blast weapon, that's 2d6 shots at strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. Your crack is 2 shots at strength 9, AP 2, damage d6. Heavy Flamer, we know what this does, strength 5, AP 1, damage 1. It's a flamer. You got the Plasma Cannon. If you overcharge it, it's strength 8, AP 3, and damage 2. Otherwise, it's strength 7, AP 2, and damage 1. And then you have your Storm Bolters, 2 shots, strength 4, AP 0, damage 1 with rapid fire 2. Your Plasma Cannon does have blast. So, whatever. Chain Fist. This is anti-vehicle 3+ combat weapon. 3 attacks on 4s, strength 8, AP 2, damage 2. Your Power Fist is 3 attacks on 3s, strength 8, AP 2, damage 2. Your power weapon is 4 attacks on 3s, strength 5, AP 2, and damage 1. Then you have some war gear. Any number of Deathwing Terminators can each have their Power Fist replaced with a Chain Fist. Probably do that, maybe. Right? With Oath of the Moment? Yeah, probably do that. For every 5 models in the unit, one Deathwing Terminator can replace its Storm Bolter with one of the following: Assault Cannon, Heavy Flamer, Plasma Cannon, Storm Bolter, and a Cyclone. So, that's one thing. And they can be equipped with a Watcher in the Dark, which we'll talk about in a second. They come in units of 5 to 10. They all have a Storm Bolter and a Power Weapon. Well, just the dude does. They all have a Storm Bolter and a Power Fist, and the dude, the Sergeant, has the Power Weapon. They have Deep Strike, Oath of Moment, the Teleport Homer. At the start of the battle, you can set up a Teleport Homer token anywhere on the battlefield that is not in your opponent's deployment zone. If you do, once per battle, you can target this unit with the Rapid Ingress stratagem for 0 CP, but when resolving that stratagem, you must set this unit up 3 inches horizontally from the token and not within 9 inches horizontally of any enemy models. The token is then removed. Okay. And then Deathwing, I think every Terminator squad has that. Then Deathwing, each time a model in this unit makes an attack, you can ignore any or all modifiers to the attack's ballistic skill or weapon skill characteristic, or to the hit roll. In addition, each time a model's unit makes an attack that targets your Oath of Moment target, add 1 to the hit roll. Okay. I'm not super thrilled about that. Let's see. Deathwing Terminators are 190 for 5, 380 for 10. Nah, right? Nah. They have the Deathwing keyword. They're Terminators, Infantry, Imperium. So you could be giving them like a 4-up Field of Pain, like we said before when we were talking about the Deathwing detachment. Yeah, they're a little overcosted, I think, for 380, 38 points apiece. I just don't really see what they do. They don't do too much damage, really. 3 attacks apiece. Yeah. So the Watcher in the Dark. Once per battle in any phase, this unit can summon a Watcher in the Dark. When it does, until the end of the phase, models in this unit have Feel No Pain 4+ against mortal wounds. Yeah, you would take that, just because it's free. If a character unit from your army could lead a Terminator, it can lead these guys instead. So, Terminator in general, good unit to have because they have a lot of staying power, especially with Armor of Contempt. The Deathwing guys had a couple of stratagems that were pretty good, right? They had the, I know they had the enhancement. Yeah, so this is a good one. Being able to pile in and consolidate 3 inches. That's pretty damn good with these guys. Also giving them lethal hits. that could be pretty useful as well on these Deathwing Terminators, giving lethal hits to your Power Fist, or perhaps, yeah, probably your Power Fist at that point. I think you'd probably take Chain Fist over the Power Fist, but maybe not. I think maybe it depends on your meta in your area. So these guys are pretty interesting. They're going to just be normal Terminators. Normal Terminators generally aren't used, as far as I'm aware. It's more like the Assault Terminators or other kinds of Terminators like these guys. So the Deathwing Knights, they move 5. They're toughness 5. They got a 2-up, 4-up. 4 wounds. So they're automatically just better. Leadership 6, OC 1, and a 4-up Embalm. They have Great Weapons of the Unforgiven. These are devastating wounds, sustained hits 1. They have 5 attacks apiece. At least with this they do, which is probably going to be on the Sergeant. 5 attacks, hitting on 2s, Strength 6, AP 2, damage 2. Then they have Maces of Absolution, that's 4 attacks on 2s, Strength 6, AP 1, damage 2. Power Weapon, 5 attacks at Strength 6, AP 2, and damage 1. Interesting that it's Strength 6, everything's hitting on 2s. And then you have your Relic Weapon, that's lethal hits, 6 attacks, Strength 7, AP 2, damage 2. Interesting. So, what are they actually equipped with here? The Knightmaster is equipped with the Weapon of the Unforgiven, Great Weapon of the Unforgiven. Everyone else has the Mace of Absolution, so these two top ones here. The Knightmaster's Weapon of the Unforgiven can be replaced with a Relic Weapon. It's just strictly better. It has more attacks, it has a higher strength. So, oh no it's not. It's got devastating wounds over here and sustained hits. I like devastating wounds more, so keep the Great Weapon on this guy. All Deathwing Knights can have their Mace of Absolution replaced with a Power Weapon. Nah, keep the Mace. They can be equipped with a Watcher in the Dark, which is going to give them a 4-up Feel No Pain against mortal wounds, any time you need it, once per game. Teleport Homer, same exact thing. And then Inner Circle, each time an attack is allocated to a model in this unit, subtract 1 from the damage characteristic of that attack. Ooh, baby. That makes these so fucking tough. So these guys are gonna be a lot. Deathwing Knights, right? Yeah. You can't even take them in units of 10 anymore. They are 235 points. But damn. For their staying power, I wish they were OC2. You can probably attach a dude guy to them, an ancient, to give them +1 OC, and just be on an objective with -1 damage, with 4 wounds apiece. That's so good. That's so good. Like, you're taking a 3 damage hit, now it's down to 2, so you need two damage hits to kill one of them. They have a 4-up Invuln, cover with Armor of Contempt, so yeah, it's a lot to get through. So this unit is going to be really, really durable. For 235 points, I mean, that's less points than like an Aggressor squad. Although Aggressors do have an extra guy in that unit, but these guys would smack through Aggressors, no problem. Aggressors would go down to 1 damage apiece against these. Bring them to a 4-up Invuln if they don't use Armor of Contempt. No way. Like, if I threw an Aggressor squad into one of these, I'll get 12 hits. If I Oath you, I'll get 14 hits. I am twin-linked, and I'm a higher strength than you. So on the 14, you're going to get like 10, and then you'll probably get like another 2 or 3. So you'll get, call it 12. Just call it 12, just to make it easy. I'll fail 4 saves, and one of these guys will die. So that's pretty good. Yeah. You can make them -1 to wound from being shot at. That was the Deathwing one, I think. Yeah, it was -1 to wound if you're getting shot at. So, -1 to wound, -1 damage, just so hard to get through. But not putting out a whole lot of damage at Strength 6, AP 1, and damage 2. So I think you probably run Deathwing Knights if you're playing as as these guys and not using a different detachment. Yeah. I mean, even in a different detachment, these guys would probably be good. Like, the Sneaky detachment, or whatever the heck that is. The Raven Guard one, where you can infiltrate a unit up. This might be good on these, or even on these. But generally, it's better on Assault Terminators there. But these guys are really good. They are really good. They're not, like, super duper standout, but I love how durable they are. So, we have Ravenwing Command Squads. These move 12, they're toughness 5, they have a 3-up, 5-up. Interesting. 4 wounds apiece, leadership 6, OC of 2. Interesting. 4 wounds is pretty good. 4 wounds is good. Having an invuln is good. Having OC 2 is good. So, okay. They've got some ranged weapons. They have a grenade launcher as an option, frag or crack. D3 shots on the frag, strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. 1 shot on the crack, strength 9, AP 2, damage D3, both at a 24-inch range. Bolt pistols and then plasma talons. Then that's what you're here for. You are here for the plasma talon. The Talon of Plaz is a rapid-fire weapon that is 18 inches with 2 shots, strength 7, AP 2, damage 1, or strength 8, AP 3, damage 2 with rapid fire. So get within 9 inches, which is hard, but not that hard, especially when you're scouting up and stuff like that with that relic or whatever it was, the enhancement. So pretty good. Rapid fire 1. Now you're 3 shots apiece. Your Oath of the Moment. Maybe you gave him lethal hits or something like that. If you can. I think you can. I think I can. Anyway, it's a good unit. It's getting a lot of shots with plasma. 3 shots a guy at strength 8, AP 3, and damage 2. It's pretty good. Combat, though, well, this is what they got. Black Knight combat weapon. Strength 5, AP 2, damage 1. It's a power sword. 3 attacks, hits on 3s. Or you have the Mastercrafted power weapon. 6 attacks, strength 5, AP 2, damage 2. And that's going to be on your special guy. These things are a point level of something. Ravenwing Command Squad, right? Why can't I read? Oh, it's because it's the one that's not... It's 130 points. It's like literally bright red. 130 points for the Ravenwing Command Squad. That doesn't seem bad, right? 130 points? Yeah? So what do we get? We only get 3? That's why. That's why it's bad. Okay, yeah. So... Oh my god. Okay, Narkethium. While this unit contains a Ravenwing Apothecary in your command phase, you can return 1 destroyed model excluding a character or invader ATB to this unit. God damn it. Astartes Banner. While this unit contains a Ravenwing Ancient, add 1 to the objective control, so they're all OC3. That's pretty big. I mean, like a Rhino is OC3. Honor and Death. There might even be 2. Honor and Death. While this unit contains a Ravenwing Champion, add 1 to advance and charge rolls made for this unit, and you can target this unit with a Heroic Intervention strat for 0 CP. Okay. Uh-oh. My phone was dying, so I had to plug it in. Alright, so... Yeah, for 130 points, I don't think so. They are mounted grenades Imperium Ravenwing, and their Ravenwing Command Squad. The champion is a character. So, the champion gives you Honor and Death. I think that's what he gives you. While this contains Ravenwing Champion, add 1 to the advance and charge rolls made for this unit, and you can target this unit with a Heroic Intervention stratagem for 0 CP. Okay, so, right. Ravenwing Champion is equipped with a Plasma Talon Mastercrafted power weapon. The other guys have a Plasma Talon and a close combat weapon thing. One guy can take a grenade launcher. They can be attached to units, so they can be attached to Outriders and Blackwing Knights. So let's talk about the Blackwing Knights, because right now I'm not impressed by the Ravenwing Command Squad. Yeah, it's just too many points. At 130 points, I don't know. That seems like a lot. So, 130 points, you get 3 guys. What is that? So, god damn it. If it was 120, they'd be 40 points apiece. So they're like 43.333 points apiece. I don't know. But you can put them with a squad, and you can bring guys back to life with the Narkethium, and they all add 1 to their objective control. So everything becomes 3. So the Blackwing Knights become 3, this unit becomes 3. I think your Outriders are 2 as well. So they would become 3 as well. So pretty useful there. I'm just not sure that they can do it with the points that they cost. The Ravenwing Black Knights. So these dudes, they're 180 points for 6. So they're 90 points for 3. They're 30 points apiece. They move 12, they're toughness 5, they have a 3 up, 5 up, 3 wounds, leadership 6, and OC 2. They can take a grenade launcher. They mostly will have plasma talons. I don't think the grenade launcher will ever be taken now, because it used to do something useful, I think, like it slowed you down or something cool, but now it doesn't do anything. So, yeah. Plasma talon, we just talked about that. You're going to always shoot it at the strength 8 AP 3 and 2 damage profile with 2 attacks, and then in combat they have that same weapon. They have 3 attacks at strength 5, AP 2, and damage 1. So, hitting on 3s. For every 3 models in the unit, one can take a grenade launcher. Don't do that. Each time this unit is selected to fight, if it made a charge move, until the end of the phase, melee weapons equipped by models in this unit have anti-monster and anti-vehicle 4+. So that's useful for these guys. So you're going to be giving anti-monster and anti-vehicle to basically this master-crafted power weapon, which is fine, I guess. Yeah, looking at 5 hits, 2 to 3 wounds on a vehicle, AP 2, so 2 get through at 4 damage. Okay, that's going to give you 6 plus 2, so 3, so this is 18, 19, 20, 21, so 24. You're going to get 24 attacks. You're going to get 16 hits. That'll be 8 wounds on a vehicle, not including this. Call it 6 wounds go through if it's got a 3-up save. Yeah, you're doing 10 wounds to a vehicle, or a monster, potentially. So a full unit of these things, they can threaten monsters and vehicles, I guess. I wouldn't say they'll be good at going after them, but they can threaten them if they have this unit attached to them. And that'll be, what, so the same amount of plasma shots as well. So 24 plasma shots within 9 inches. That's pretty good. Strength 8 AP 3 damage 2 with Oath of the Moment. Maybe a way to give them lethal hits? Maybe not. Nah, I don't think that there was a way to give them lethal hits, right? You can give them precision and stuff like that. Or was that the other one? Let's just double check. So, that's bad. Yep, that's a bad one. This is great. Sticky objectives. Battle shock something. -1 to the hit roll on them, so that could be cool. And then move off the table. That's probably the best one for them. Just shoot something dead and then move off the table, I guess. So, Blackwing Knights. Let's see. So this unit in total, they're going to be 180, 280, 320 points for these together. I don't know. Mounted Grenades, Imperium, Ravenwing Black Knights. It's just, that's a lot of points, but bringing them back to life is pretty good. It's just like, they don't, I don't know. Having the 5-up invuln is good. So, I think they're probably one of the better units in the Codex so far. So that's pretty good. Ravenwing Dark Shroud. Moves 14, toughness 8 with a 3-up and a 5-up. 10 wounds, leadership 6, OC 3. Assault Cannon. Devastating wounds, 6 shots at 24 inches, strength 6, AP 0, damage 1. And then a Heavy Bolter, strength 5, AP 1, damage 2 with sustained hits at 36 inches. 3 shots, all that. Yeah. It's got a close combat weapon. I don't care. You don't care. We don't care. Its Heavy Bolter can be replaced with an Assault Cannon. Yeah, just do that. Right? Deadly Demise D3. Oath of the Moment. Icon of Old Caliban. While a friendly Adeptus Astartes unit is within 6 inches of this model, models in that unit have the Stealth ability, and each time a ranged attack targets that unit, it has the benefit of cover. That's awesome. Hey, cat. Don't do that. So, is it wholly within? Nope. It's just within 6. So, that's good. That is really good. Giving stuff the benefit of cover and giving it stealth, both good things. Because a lot of objectives are kind of out in the open, especially ones that are just like in normal Leviathan missions. Not always, but you can usually get line of sight on things and not really worry about cover there. So, it's pretty good if you can get stuff like onto objectives and then give them cover and give them -1 to hit. So that's a good unit. I guess it also would affect itself. Yeah, it would be within range of itself. So the Dark Shroud, this is 115 points. It's got 5 invuln, it's got 10 wounds. For 115 points for giving things this in a 6-inch aura. So you've got your Ravenwing Dark Shroud, 6 inches, so you can cover a pretty wide area with that because it doesn't have to be wholly within. So not so bad. Not bad for 115 points. I could see these being a good support unit for some things as well, because it gets to everything. So friendly Adeptus Astartes units, that could be anything from the Space Marine Codex. So a vehicle, like a Lancer. Would you take Lancers? It's irrelevant. Let's just think like, okay, it's any unit. So all of your big tanks, Redemptor Dreadnoughts, all of your infantry like Terminators, potentially your Black Knights and things like that. You can put it on your flyers, give it to Land Raiders, my favorite unit in the game. So that's pretty good. Yeah, I like it. I like it. For 115 points, I think it's worth it. Yeah. So Ravenwing Darkshroud, by itself, I think is just pretty good. So, Landspeeder Vengeance. Moves 14, toughness 8, 3 up, 5 up, 10 wounds, leadership 6, OC 3, exactly the same as this. This guy, he has an Assault Cannon, which is the same as above, a Heavy Bolter, which is the same as above, and then you have the Plasma Storm Battery. It's Blast Twin-Linked, and you either get Strength 8, AP 2, Damage 1, or Strength 9, AP 3, Damage 2. I think this used to be Damage 3. I think it was 2 and 3 before. D6 plus 1 shots on both profiles, twin-linked on both profiles. That's nice to have the rerolls to wound, but unless I'm wrong, not having damage 3 anymore, not my favorite decision there. What was this thing called? Landspeeder Vengeance? So Landspeeder Vengeance is 140 points. Nope. I'm not crazy, right? Like, so what does it actually have? It's equipped with the Heavy Bolter and the Plasma Storm Battery, because this thing has the Heavy Bolter and that's it. This thing has a Heavy Bolter and a Plasma Storm Battery, so it's going to have a Heavy Bolter, or maybe an Assault Cannon, and this stupid fucking Plasma Gun for 140 points? Abso-fucking-lutely not. Okay, the Dark Talon. 20-inch move, toughness 8, 3 up, 5 up, 11 wounds. Okay. Leadership 6 and OC 0. I think I remember one of these flyers actually being pretty good. This thing has the Hurricane Bolter and the Rift Cannon. Hurricane Bolter is 6 shots with Rapid Fire 6 and Twin Linked. So within 12 inches, you're getting 12 shots with this. And I think it has 2 of them. It might only have 1, but either way, 12 shots with Twin Linked isn't so bad. Strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. It's good against infantry. The Rift Cannon is Blast, Devastating Wounds. It's got an 18-inch range, but who cares because you're a flyer. D3 plus 1 shots, 3 plus to hit, strength 16, AP 4, and damage 3. I wish it was a little bit higher damage, considering it has dev wounds and it's only D3 plus 1 shots, but not bad. Armored Hull, who gives a shit? If it's damaged, so 1 to 3 wounds remaining, it subtracts 1 from its hit roll. Deadly Demise, D3, it does hover, and it has Oath of the Moment, and then it has a Stasis Bomb. Once per turn, one model from your army with this ability can use it after it ends a normal move. If it does, you can select one enemy unit that it moved over during the phase. That unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. Yeah. And you must roll a D6. On a 1 to 3, that unit cannot advance or fall back in your opponent's next movement phase. On a 4 to 6, that unit must remain stationary in your opponent's next movement phase. Yeah. Only can use this once per battle. So the Dark Talon. That's 210 points? Why? What? No. This ability is really good. It does have 2 Hurricane Bolters. No, not for 210 points. Not with 11 wounds at toughness 8. Are you fucking kidding me? So being able to stop your opponent from falling back can win you games. So perhaps that's why this is so expensive, because there is a chance that you could just prevent a unit from falling back and that just the game is over at that point, because you've got your really, really strong unit in combat with their like who gives a shit unit, and that unit wants to fall back so that they can blow your unit off the table, and you're like, actually, you can't. So that's it's very, very good, but my god, dude, for 210 points, like, I have bad vision, but like, that's what it is. It's 210 points. Okay, Nephilim Jet Fighter is next. I have to recover from this. That's so fucking bad. No. Not for 210 points. It literally is toughness 8 with 11 wounds. And you know what's going to happen? You're going to roll this dice on the turn you really need something to stay put, and it's not going to work. So, what are you going to do? You're going to invest 420 points into your army just for the chance to like, almost guarantee, not even almost guarantee, it's a 75% chance to, like, dude, no. Absolutely not. Jesus. All right, Nephilim Jet Fighter. 20-inch move, same thing, same profile as this guy. So toughness 8, 11 wounds, 3 up, 5 up, OC 0, whatever. He's got the Mega Bolter. It's mega. It sustained hits 1, 36-inch range, 10 shots, strength 5, AP 1, damage 2. It is just a much more shooty heavy bolter. It then has Black Sword missiles that are anti-fly 2+. They are hitting on 3s, 2 shots. It's 36 for both this and the Mega Bolter. Okay, so the Black Sword missiles, 2 shots, strength 8, AP 2, damage D6. Okay. Then you have the las cannons. It's 2 shots at 48, 3s to hit, strength 12, AP 3, D6 plus 1 damage. It should just say las cannon and then have 2 of them. But it doesn't. And then Twin Heavy Bolter. Sustained hits 1 twin. Length 3 shots. Strength 5. AP 1. Damage 2. Yeah. I glitched out there for a second. 36-inch range. So, its Mega Bolter can be replaced with las cannons. It has the Mega Bolter, the Black Sword missiles, and a Twin Heavy Bolter. It's a shame that you can't replace the Twin Heavy Bolter with the Nephilim las cannons. -1 to hit if it's got 1 to 3 wounds remaining. It's got Deadly Demise D3 and Hover, just like this guy does. So it could start, I think you can start on the table with Hover and then just kind of fly around. Still your OC 0, but yeah. Alright, so each time a ranged attack targets this model, subtract 1 from the hit roll. If the attack was made by a model that can fly, subtract 1 from the wound roll as well. Or you could just take one of these things and give it stealth, which is the same thing, and give it cover. So neither of these are useful. Nephilim Jet Fighter, you better be like 4 points. Oh, what? It's 195 points. What? Dude. Right. 195 points. Yeah, take 3 of them. They're so good. Yep. All right, that's it. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Oh, no. All right, so let's digest it a little bit here and kind of do a little conclusive stuff. Jeez, I don't even know what to do. This is bad. This is bad. This is just bad. These are really bad. This is awesome. So this makes this kind of great, but it's 210 points. This fucking thing is 195 points. What in what world? Anyway, so yeah, I guess I missed their keywords. Their vehicle, aircraft, fly, Imperium, Ravenwing. So they have the Ravenwing keyword, but who cares? Who fucking cares? All right, so let's go back to some of this stuff and see if there's anything useful here. So, Ravenwing mounted model only. So these can be taken on the command squad. So that's pretty good, because then you can be taking something like this, like the Recon Hunter. So you take that on the command squad, you put them with Blackwing Knights, or maybe Outriders if you want to use a worse unit, and you can scout them 9. They have a 12-inch move, right? Yeah. They move 12 plus 9, which is going to be 21. So they're immediately 3 inches away from your deployment zone on turn 1, which is probably within 9 inches of the rapid-fire plasma guns. They just blast the unit off the table. They can probably charge into combat from some other thing. There was something that let them do it. This. So you could also take this instead. So yeah. But yeah, you could totally charge after scouting 9. So it's like fucking 2 a.m. So it's hard for me to think. But yes, you could do that. You could scout 9, move 12, shoot something dead, charge into something else, and just really disrupt your opponent on turn 1. And then if you live and you're not in combat, you can take them off the table. That's pretty interesting. So you can pop that entire unit of 9 guys off the table. This is just completely terrible, this one here. So, yeah, right? We went over this one. Not great. Not great at all. The -1 to hit in the opponent's shooting phase, you probably just take the Dark Shroud instead, right? Yeah, just do that, because it gives you cover and -1 to hit in the shooting phase only. So, I know I said this one was probably the better one to start. I'm not sure it is, just because only a few of their stratagems are actually useful. Yeah. This does give it to your whole army, though. Remember that. So, being able to shoot in a turn which you advanced or fell back, just being able to shoot in a turn, in advance in a turn, that's just really good, because that allows you to do secondaries, and that's what it's most useful for, in my opinion. Most guns can get into range, but this might help you get around cover as well. So if you do need to shoot stuff, that's pretty good. So it can make your army a lot more maneuverable and a lot faster. Ravenwing model only, man. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure there's bike characters that you can take, and you can put these on them instead, like the chaplain, like I said earlier. So yeah, I'm just not sure what this does. I'm not sure what this does. Your Outriders do gain battle line keyword, but that just means you can take 6 of them. Right, or is it any number? You can take more than 3. Inner Circle Task Force, I mean, this is only going to be applying to your Deathwing infantry, and that is bad. So, because it's only going to be your Terminators, because the Deathwing keyword gets applied to Terminators and to Blade Guard Veteran and Stern Guard Veteran and all the veterans. So, I just don't think this one's all that great either. You probably run the Dark Angels. God. You probably run the Dark Angels as some other type of detachment, right? So, Lionel Johnson's useless, but Azrael's really good. He's definitely like the best character that's in here. This guy, Samael, he's also pretty good as well, because he's just good for his points, and he can let you, I think he advances, right? Lets you advance and shoot and declare charge. Yeah, advance, shoot, and charge. So that's really good. He can lead, Outriders and Blackwing Knights, so not so bad on that guy either. He has 130 points, remember, so kind of expensive. But, yeah, I think you just play regular Space Marines and just put these into some other kind of Space Marine detachment. I'm not sure which one off the top of my head, because like I said at the beginning, there's so many different combinations of things that you can do. Interested in something, actually. There's so many different combinations of things that you can do with Space Marines, because they have like 5 different codexes that can all be put together. Mounted and vehicles that can fly. Vehicles that can fly. Yeah, there's only a couple. There's like your flying vehicles, like your land speeder type things. I don't think Lancers have fly. I don't think Repulsors have fly. I don't think any of the grab things have fly. So, my overall takeaway, I think, is that this is overall pretty bad. Yeah. There's some cool stuff you got, like Azrael attaching to Squad of Hellblasters, putting an Apothecary in there to bring him back to life. That's pretty funny, because he gives him sustained hits, Oath of the Moment. That's awesome. Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah. Definitely bad. Definitely bad. I think, yeah, you maybe either just play these guys as the Raven Wing, or maybe as the Iron Hands. Although I'm not sure if the Iron Hands are really all that good what do you get? You get a reroll, a hit, and a wound, or a damage roll for everything. So that's not super useful to these. There's not a whole lot of units in here that really benefit from that a whole lot. You're going to mainly just take them from like the Space Marine index. The Raven Guard things, right? Raven Guard? The Raven Guard one gives you, what? -1 to be hit and cover if you're over 12 inches away. That's pretty good on these guys, for sure. -1 to hit and cover on bikes, pretty nice. Terminators, could see that being pretty useful there as well. So Raven Wings seem decent with these guys. Let's see, do you have Deep Strike? So you could be picked up off the table with Raven Guard. These guys don't. They just have Oath of the Moment. They don't even have anything special. So, yeah, I think maybe the Raven Guard one's probably your best bet. Yeah. Most of these units are awful. Literally, Azrael is like the best unit in this codex. It's like, that's crazy. These Black Knights are really good as well. I do like that you could teleport them off the table with the Raven Guard thing. Put them into Strategic Reserve, bring them back down somewhere else. The Raven Guard may... no, they don't have a Deep Strike within 3. They have a pick you up off the table, and then you can come back on next turn in Strategic Reserves, and if you have Deep Strike, that means you can Deep Strike back down. But, yeah, I don't think that they have one that lets you Deep Strike within 3. So, that is a really good stratagem for... What was that for? Was that for the Unforgiven Task Force? Or was it for the Inner Circle? It was for the Inner Circle Task Force thing. So, the Relic Teleportarium, being able to Deep Strike within 3 inches, that is really, really good. You could probably give that to a couple of units in the Space Marine Codex as well. Because it gives you all your Blade Guard. Yeah. Deathwing unit from your army that's arriving using the Deep Strike ability. So, yeah, all of your Blade Guard and stuff are what get the Deep Strike ability. Because your Dreadnoughts don't have it. Yeah, I mean, either way, that's great. Being able to Deep Strike within 3 inches. Super duper good and super disruptive. I think my conclusion is that you might take some of these units, like the Blackwing Knights, and some of their cool characters, maybe Azrael, with some like Hellblasters and stuff, but you're going to play them as a different detachment, for sure. You're not going to play them as the Dark Angels one. I just don't think that they have enough good things going on compared to other stuff that's in the Space Marine Codex, or just like other detachments, I guess. Like other detachments. So that's what you're going to do. There's just not enough here for you to really make a GT winning competitive army with this codex and what's in here. You're just not going to be able to do it. You'll be able to take units out of this codex, put them into a normal Space Marine army, and make something happen there. But using these detachments that are in here, that's just not going to get it done. Not going to get it done. So, yeah. You can take a Stormlance maybe for some of them, but there's just not a lot of units in here. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just not a whole lot of units in here. Like, these are useless. This is great. This would be great in a lot of different things. I don't really care what detachment you're playing with. This thing is good because it's going to be giving you stealth and ignores cover in a range like this big, like as big as the Codex practically. So that's good. Give that to Land Raiders. Give that to Redemptor Dreadnoughts. Give that to Terminators. Just any good unit that's in the Space Marine Codex, which aren't really any of these. Take one of them. Yeah, I think you play Raven Guard as these guys. Because you can just take the regular Space Marine stuff, still be like cool Raven Guard-y and like jumping around doing cool stuff that way. But you get the benefit of that +1 to hit, or that -1 to be hit and cover, but this thing also gives it to you as well. So maybe you don't go Raven Guard. Maybe you don't go Raven Guard. What do you go then? Because these things are Raven Guard-y. They just give it to you all the time though. Doesn't have to be, you don't have to be more than 12 inches away. So, I don't know, probably Iron Hands, because they're one of the better ones. It's Iron Hands and, like, Raven Guard are, like, the top ones, in my opinion. But you don't really need it. Like, the Raven Guard, you'd just be playing for some of the stratagems, and yeah, I don't know. Alright, well, I'm done trying to think about it. You're not going to play it from the Codex. You're going to play it in the other Space Marine armies and the other Space Marine detachments. That's what you're going to do. I'm not exactly sure which one. Probably Iron Hands would be my guess. Probably Iron Hands, because you can already do other stuff with some of these units, and you don't really need that detachment rule of some of the other ones. So, like, you could advance and charge and shoot, or just advance and shoot, shoot, even if you fell back. So you shoot if you advanced or fell back. That's what it is. That one's great, so that's basically salamanders, without the +1 strength thing. This thing gives you the detachment rule from Raven Guard, so you have access to that kind of stuff. So maybe either the Stormlance or the, which actually this probably gives you Stormlance too. Doesn't this guy like give you the Stormlance thing? Azrael? Not Azrael. They're all the same. They all have the same name to me. Samael. So he lets you shoot and declare charge in a turn which you advance. Theirs is similar. Yeah. So you're just going to play a different detachment. Okay. That's it. I'm done. You're done too. This video is way too long. Holy shit. Okay. Well, if you're still watching, thank you for watching. I really appreciate all the support for all you guys that have been liking, commenting, subscribing, doing all that stuff. I really appreciate it. I wasn't really sure what to expect when I started this channel. I've just been playing Warhammer for a long time, and I've always wanted to do something like this, so wasn't really sure what I was doing to start. Still have no idea what I'm doing, but all I know is that I love this game, and I take it very competitively, and if you guys maybe learn a thing or two from me, or if you just like watching me, that's all I care about. So, if you like this video, thunderhammer that like button, show it the fall, subscribe. It's Theory Hammer. That's the channel you're watching right now. Leave a comment. Hit the bell icon. I always call it Nurgle's bell icon because it's fucking thematic. And then you're going to want to check out our other videos as well, because we have all kinds of content out there, and we're making more, and I'm trying to improve with every new video. So, that's going to do it for me. I'm done with this. I will see you guys in the next one.